Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today, we are talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and my offseason plan to get them to another Super Bowl in this decade. So if you guys are enjoying, please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. So obviously, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not really any big movement on their coordinators. They did fire their offensive coordinator. New OC takes over. But overall, no big changes for the Buccaneers. We know what their offense is. We know what their defense is. So how can I turn this team back into a Super Bowl contender? Because under Tom Brady in 2021, they easily won the Super Bowl. Sorry, my thing stopped recording. I don't know where I left off, but the Buccaneers in 2021, they won a Super Bowl. A lot of that infrastructure is actually still around, right? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, multiple stars on the offensive line. I believe Tristan Wirfs is actually on that roster. The running backs, in my opinion, have gotten better with Bucky Irving. Cade Otton is still there. On defense, you still got Lavonte David technically, but I do think he's going to test free agency. You got Vita Vea. You still got Antoine Winfield Jr. So many great players on this team. So we need to improve it to get them the best chance to win the NFC South and win the Super Bowl. So let's get into the video. Starting off with cuts and or trades. They're currently at positive $23 million in cap space. So honestly, a good number to start with, especially because we have contracts we can kind of, maneuver around, restructure, extend. So I actually really like that number. Next year, positive 109. The year after, positive 238. So this roster currently with how it's constructed is kind of on a 2-year window. You got Baker that's expiring this year. You got Mike Evans who could be leaving. You got Chris Godwin who's expiring after next season. On defense, Vita Vea, Lavonte David, like multiple guys with big money deals are coming up on their deals ending. So these next 2 years, we have to maximize this roster. So cuts or trades. First, I'm going to cut Riley Dixon, their punter, save $3 million. Boom. That's all I'm going to do. No cuts. I don't want to cut anyone. I like this roster how it is. The way it's constructed is very, very positive for the future. So no cuts besides their punter. Save $3 million. Let's go draft the punter in the 6th or 7th round, and we'll call it a day. Then with the re-signings and or extensions, now we're at positive $26 million after cutting Riley Dixon. So the first re-signing or extension I'm going to do is Baker Mayfield. I want to work out a contract with Baker. I want to get him here for another 2 or 3 years after 2026. And I want to give him a pay raise, more guaranteed money to kind of keep him happy as our quarterback. He started the season off as the MVP candidate, but did kind of fall off after the team started, sustaining injuries and guys weren't staying healthy around Baker Mayfield. The offense struggled around him after that. He has been a consistent quarterback to rely on. After Tom Brady, they could have went through multiple years of really bad quarterback purgatory, but they landed on Baker Mayfield. Turned out to be a really good guy for them in this offense that they have, and it won't be the quarterback draft market with him at the helm. There's not going to be a year unless Baker basically misses the entire year like he did with the Browns in 2022 that you're going to be able to go get a quarterback because you're such a bad team. I don't see it happening, so I want to make sure we get Baker signed an extension. So this is what he's currently on. Currently, he has on a 1-year deal remaining for $40 million, no guaranteed money. I expect a extension to come very, very soon. And here's how I decided to work out this contract extension. I'm going to give him a 4-year, $133 million deal, $92 million guaranteed at 69% guaranteed. So I'm going to lower his cap hit from 39 point, so it's $40 million all the way down to $18 million. So we're going to open up $22 million of cap space day one of free agency. Then we're going to push that money down the line. Next year, he'll be making $36 million. The year after, $38 million, and the year after that, $41 million. So he gets a pay raise because he was a 3-year, $100 million deal. So $33 million about averaged out after that deal happened. So we're going to give him a pay raise. We're going to make him, I believe it's going to be, 4, 8, 12, like 35, 37 million a year. So a little bit of a pay raise. We're going to re-guarantee, though, that contract and say, you know what? You're just enough of a quarterback where we want you on our team, and we think we win the Super Bowl with you. But at the end of the day, if we want to move off you, we want to be able to have a number we can trade you. So I like it. He gets 3 years fully guaranteed. That 4th year at $41 million, he'll be, I believe, 33 or 34. So at that point, if it's not really a thing, you can trade him in 2028 or cut him in 2029. But this gives you to the end of the decade, you know what your plan at quarterback is going to be. And I think that's something that's very valuable for a franchise that has a roster that's ready to compete right now. Next, we're going to grab is Yaya Diaby. We're going to extend Yaya Diaby before he hits free agency next year. This year, he had 29 tackles, 9 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 32 run stops, which was 11th in the NFL, and 62 pressures, which was 14th in the NFL. He showed up big time this year. However, long-term, I do see him more as a rotation guy than a true starter. So I want to get him on a great team-friendly deal. We're going to sign him really early. Because, again, I do think if he can have another season of 9 sacks, a forced fumble, 25 run stops, 50 pressures, he's going to be in the $12 to $18 million range. So let's extend him early. So you know what? We're going to pay you big after that big year he just had. And we're going to extend you to a team-friendly deal. Great first step, more of a speed threat. Again, I see him more as a backup rotation guy than I see as a long-term starter. So I'm going to give him a 2-year, $15 million deal, $10 million guaranteed at 67% with an $8 million signing bonus. So it's one of those, like, immediately we get you for 2 more additional years. So that way in 2026, if you come back down to earth, down to that 3 or 4 sacks, we feel pretty good for the $5.5, $9.5 million cap hits. But if you do have another 9-sack season, then we have a great team-friendly deal. While you're still getting paid, but we get a great team-friendly deal. And if you come back to earth like you were last year, then we both are pretty happy with the number that we got you on. So Yaya Diaby coming back for about $7.5 million a year. Then, Kalijah Kancey, I want to re-sign as well. Kalijah Kancey was hurt all of 2025, injured almost all year. He has a great pass-rushing D-tackle. He had 4 sacks in 2023 and 8 sacks in 2025. So I want to get him extended while he is currently recovering from an injury before he has another monster season in 2026. I want to get him for the real low. I want to get him as low as I can, because if I can guarantee a Vita Vea Kalijah Kancey duo for the next couple of years, I want to keep that going. Again, this next 2 or 3 years is the prime window to win a Super Bowl in the NFC. He's a perfect pairing next to Vita Vea. I think Vita as the run stopper who can get to the quarterback with Kalijah Kancey's speed at the D-tackle position is a great pairing. So I'm gonna give him a 2-year, $15 million deal, $10 million guaranteed, 67% with a $10 million signing bonus. So very similar to the Yaya Diaby deal, but a little bit more of a signing bonus because he is playing D-tackle in this defense. D-tackle is way more important than D-end. So I'm going to get Kalijah Kancey on a 2-year extension. So now Yaya Diaby and Kalijah Kancey, we're kind of betting on, hey, if you have another great season that you had last year or the year before with Kalijah Kancey, then awesome. We have you on a great team-friendly deal, but you still get your money up front. If you don't have a great season, you kind of go back down to earth, or you don't really have a great season again, then yes, we're kind of paying you $6.5 million to not be a great player for us, but you have that financial guarantee that you're on this team in 2027. So I think it's a great deal for both sides. So Kalijah Kancey, 2-year deal, we get him through 2028. Next is going to be Cade Otton. I want to bring back the receiving tight end for the Buccaneers. Last year, 59 receptions, 572 yards, and a touchdown. He's been a great receiving option for Baker. He's been the chain mover of this offense when Mike Evans or Emeka Egbuka were out with injury, or Chris Godwin was, still recovered from his injury. Cade Otton was the consistent guy that Baker could always throw the ball to. He's a solid run blocker, that check down option for this offense. I 100% think he is vital to what they want to do on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm going to give him a 3-year, $37.5 million deal, $23 million guaranteed at 62%. He gets that $22.5 million in the first 2 years. So he gets a lot of money up front. Then if in 2028, he'll only be, I think, 27 or 28 in 2028. So we can work out another extension to make him get him another bag. But right now, I want to sign to this deal, get our guy, and make sure our offense can be as smooth and recoverable as it was last year for the future. Next, we signed to be Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker this last year had 320 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. He played fantastic in the relief of Bucky Irvin when Bucky was out for those 4 or 5 games. He was fantastic. Great speed, great quickness in first step. I would love to see a full season of Sean Tucker and Bucky Irvin playing off of each other. He bursts out of the pocket with great acceleration. This is a home run hitting running back. No matter what snap you give him, there's a 30% chance it could be a 60-yard touchdown every time he touches the ball. So I want to get Sean Tucker extended. Want to bring him back. We're going to make a 2-year, $7.5 million deal. $4 million guaranteed at 53%. I do think he'll be a very hot commodity in the running back market because he's only 24 years old or 25 years old. We saw this year that with a more heavy carry load, he can turn those possessions into touchdowns. And I'm a very big fan of Sean Tucker. I think he can do it. He was I believe he was an undrafted free agent or a 7th round pick, and he's gonna be a restricted free agent, so you can match whatever offer that someone gives him. But I want to, before free agency even happens, offer him this deal, get him signed the dotted line, and make sure we have our running back duo for the next 2 years of Bucky Irvin and Sean Tucker. Last guy I want to extend or re-sign is gonna be Mike Evans. Yes, I do want to bring back Mike Evans for his last year. This year, he had 30 receptions, 368 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Finally broke his 1,000-yard streak because of injury, but it's going to happen sooner or later. He dealt with serious injuries in 2025, and as much as I don't think he's going to return, he's very adamant. He's been on multiple shows that he's going to return in 2026. So for me, I can't let him walk. He's a franchise legend. We want to try and win a Super Bowl. We have Emeka Egbuka, we have Chris Godwin, we have Jalen McMillan, but Mike Evans is the veteran in that room who when you throw him, like, he commands respect on the field. So I do think with him on the field, you get a better matchup with your other guys. So I want to bring back Mike Evans. Currently, he's gonna have a $14 million cap hit no matter what due to restructures and pushing the ball down the lane. But I want to re-sign him to a $12 million deal. So you save another $2 million in cap space. So I'm excited to a 1-year, $12 million deal, fully guaranteed. Bring back the franchise legend that I just don't think I want to see in another jersey outside of Tampa Bay. Then entering free agency, you got positive $43 million in 2026, positive $70 in 2027, and positive $163 in 2028. So we did take about $30 million in cap space next year, but positive $70 for a team trying to win a Super Bowl every single year right now is a great number to be at, because that's a lot of guys that you can sign next year. So I like that number entering free agency, because we're gonna spend it. We are gonna spend it, and the first time that we're gonna spend it is on Trey Hendrickson. I want to bolster this defensive line room as much as I can. This year, Trey Hendrickson had 9 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 11 run stops, and 23 pressures. Edge has been neglected since the Super Bowl run. He had that 1 year of Shaq Barrett, who was just truly dominant. Jason Pierre-Paul came back. Like, everything's kind of worked out in that Super Bowl run, that everyone on defense played at the best possible way that they could. It's not been like that since. It's been very neglected. They don't draft guys really unless they're in the 3rd round or later. They don't sign big-time free agents. I don't care. I'm changing that. I'm going to get the best edge on the market. It's a big win now move. He was injured last year, so there could be some worry. Maybe, he's going to slow down post-injury. I don't care. He's an improvement. He's a top 5 edge rusher when healthy. I want him on my team. Very high motor. I'm going to sign him to a 3-year, $60 million deal, $35 million guaranteed at 58% guaranteed. I'm taking it. I'm running it to the bank. If I can exit the first 20 minutes of free agency with Trey Hendrickson on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's a home run signing, and that's someone that can, 1, elevate the defensive line room, 2, solve your biggest issue, and 3, allows you to draft someone and develop them truly without forcing them into starting minutes. And I think that's a major thing that you need in this defense. Next up is Devin Bush. Again, I think one of the best linebackers on the market. 81 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 44 run stops, 3 interceptions, and 2 pick sixes, by the way. He's become one of the best run-stopping linebackers in football. For whatever reason, his first 5 years, it did not click in his brain. The minute he ends up in Cleveland the last 2 years, he has become just a pure monster in the run game. Great sideline-to-sideline speed. I think it starts for them day one. Obviously he's going to start in Cleveland if they re-sign him. But I do think if he enters the market, Tampa Bay has to be one of the landing spots for him, because they're so needy for young, athletic, good linebackers that Devin Bush fits that to a T. I do think it'll be hard to pry him from Cleveland, but it is possible, because Jason Tarver is staying on as a linebackers coach, even with the new defensive coordinator. I think Devin Bush makes a lot of sense to stay in Cleveland, but I do think if he leaves, Tampa Bay is the market he needs to go to. I'm going to give him a 2-year, $14 million deal, 57% guaranteed at a $9 million signing bonus. So he gets a lot of money, almost fully guaranteed in this contract. And I think, the reason he would leave Cleveland is to get a more starting prominent role. In Tampa, he's linebacker 1. He's the number 1 linebacker on this team. So he's going to play every single down of football for a team that is trying to elevate and win a Super Bowl. The NFC is a little bit easier right now. I do think Devin Bush in Tampa Bay makes a lot of sense for a division that's very winnable. Next up is D. Alford. D. Alford, again, usually you guys don't see me talk about 1-year, $3.5 million deals. There's a reason. D. Alford this last year was amazing. He had 56 tackles, 3 interceptions, 24 run stops, which was 13th in NFL overall, 2 sacks, and 3 pass breakups. He is a very solid corner. This is someone that I thought was much older than he actually was, but he's one of the fastest guys in the NFL in the secondary. He is one of the fastest guys in the field. This is a very young room. I think D. Alford, because he'll be more of a veteran voice for them, is going to get some playing time. I would like to see him play nickel. This secondary, I do want to bolster this a little bit. Grab D. Alford, he starts at nickel corner, and boom, you feel really good. You have Jacob Parrish, who was elite as a rookie, so him and Parrish kind of move around with each other. You obviously have the premier corner, oh my gosh, what is his name? Benjamin Morrison, Zion McCollum. Like, you have really good corners, so you can kind of feel good with Jacob Parrish, D. Alford, and Christian Izin. That's the other guy I was thinking of. So you could bolster your cornerback room with a veteran that played a lot of football and someone that can start for you day one and you feel very comfortable about. Again, I don't usually talk about these kind of deals, but I think D. Alford deserves a mention of who I'm going to kind of draft this team. So some other signs we're going to be doing, just filling out the roster, because these are just guys that, do specific needs I think is going to work for this team. James Prochet is going to be the returner, 1 year, $2.5 million. He's the top 5 returner in football right now. Jalen Mills has won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I want to get him on this team, get another championship guy who knows how to win, and get him as a backup in the secondary. Joshua Azudu, backup tackle. This offensive line keeps getting injured. Let's grab a guy who has some starting experience and is still only 27 years old, so still could have the best football ahead of him. Let's get him on a 1 year, $2.5 million deal. Hunter Renfrow, 31, is a dude who has played a lot of football as well. It's shocking he's only been in the NFL for 6 years. It feels a lot longer than that. But slot receiver, you signed Sterling Shepard last year to kind of play this role. So we're going to sign Hunter Renfrow to play that slot possession receiver role. Jerome Ford, 1 year, $2.5 million. Again, a guy who can pass block, a guy who can catch out of the backfield, a guy who does have some good speed on him. Just kind of got buried in Cleveland behind the really good running backs of almost like Quentin Johnston, of Quinshad Judkins. Dylan Sampson came on really well as a rookie, and once the season kind of went down the drain, they started Raheem Sanders over him because he has more promise as a rookie. So he's kind of got buried in a bad situation in Cleveland. EJ Speed, one of the best linebackers in football just 2 years ago. So I still think there is good football in him. I want to sign him, try and get try and squeeze the last ounce out of him before he's out of the NFL. Andrew Billings, 1 year, $2.5 million deal. Again, veteran D tackle, has played a lot of football in his time. This is a backup. Then Trent Brown, the same reason as the other guys have been signing. This is a veteran. This offensive line keeps getting injured. So you have Trent Brown as a backup right tackle and Joshua Azudu as a backup left tackle. So now entering the draft, you got positive $14 million. Next year, positive 37. The year after, positive 38. 138. So still really good numbers for this year and next year, because in the draft you're gonna want about $7 to $12 million in cap space. Then in 2027 you're already at positive 37 before any restructures, any extensions. I like that number. So entering the draft, a couple of things I want to attack, right? Edge rusher has to get attacked, linebacker has to get attacked, and I think quarterback has to get attacked as well. I think you need to have a plan in case Baker Mayfield is not the answer in a year or two, so that you can draft and maybe develop to be your potential starter. And I feel like I did that. So this is what I did with my draft for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At number 15, I decided to grab D tackle Caleb Banks from Florida. If he was not injured all year, he would have been a top 10 pick. Like, this dude is athletic as crazy, great build, great run stopper, and has the ability to be a pass rusher as well. There wasn't a great edge or a linebacker to grab at 15, because I think this team is good enough to draft best player available, but they would rather draft positional value. So this is one of those, a mixture of both. If you can get in your 3-4 defense a Caleb Banks, Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey future, I'm running that ticket in, because that is one of the most athletic, great D tackle rooms in the NFL, and especially in a 3-4 defense. You're going to own the run game up the middle. So I'm going to grab that, add to one of our strengths, and he can be a great day one starter. Then at number 46, I'm going to grab Romello Heights, the edge from Texas Tech. Romello Height, I still see as a first rounder, but a lot of these draft sites and a lot of draft guys are dropping Romello Height because of his age. I don't care. He's 25 years old. That's whatever to me, because guess what? We're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I need a dude who can step in and start for me right now. Romello Height can step in and start for me right now. He's entering his prime, his rookie season. Because he's 25, that's when you usually enter your prime. I don't care. I want him. He's here to play a lot of snaps for me. We're trying to win a Super Bowl this year. So let's grab him. He's a fantastic pass rusher. He has 69 career pressures in college. He's been consistent for years, coming off his best season with 9 sacks. I don't care. I'm grabbing Romello Heights. He's a start for me day one. And I mean, maybe not start. He's to play a lot of snaps for me day one and add on to this edge room that I'm getting very excited about after this offseason. Then at number 77, I'm going to have linebacker Torian York from A&M. He's an undersized linebacker, but if you watch him, he shows flashes on the field every single day. They say he is 5'10", 227. Yikes. If that is true, those are really bad measurables. But listen, he has the technique and the skill to be a fringe first rounder. If he was just 4 inches taller, he would be a fringe first round pick. But he's 5'10", 227. That's working against him. So if I'm a Buccaneers team that has shown we can develop guys on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to grab Torian York in the 3rd round. Let's take a shot on the small guy and try and get a steal to replace Levante David long term. Then at 116, I'm going to grab Michael Tafe, the safety from Texas. Great coverage safety. He can play a role right away. This linebacker room is getting very scary after last year you drafted Tyke Smith, and then you already have Antoine Winfield Jr. Add Michael Tafe into that. Ooh, He played at a premier school. He dominated at a premier school. He's a sure tackler. That safety room is scary. That is a scary safety room because all three of them, imagine them all three on the field at the same time. That is a lockdown in the safety area. Then at 153, I'm going to grab Tacario Davis, cornerback from Washington. He's 6'4", 200-pound boundary corner. He is a solid ball hawk. He had 2 interceptions his last year. Good run defender. He did use his frame to obstruct passing lanes a lot this year, but he lets up a lot of easy catches. So it's a big catches, he kind of does stop, but the easy catches where it's more tactician, he kind of does get a little bit of exposed. I see a vision of a great ball player, but this is one of the few defenses that I think cornerback is just a rotating door because they constantly develop corners. They can't sign and extend all these corners. They have to let these guys go because they ask for too much money. But the Buccaneers are a cornerback machine. They churn out corners every single offseason of like top 5 free agent corners every year. So the Buccaneers, they've got Tacario Davis. I think this is a guy that they could turn into a really good starter and just let him go in 4 or 5 years. Then at 194, I'm going to grab Bites Botcher from Oregon. Solid all-around linebacker. He adds another depth piece to a weak linebacker room. He nearly broke 100 tackles at Oregon this year. So one of the best tacklers at one of the best defenses in college football. I'm going to take a dart at him in the 6th round. Yes, he does let up a little bit in coverage, but when it comes to run defense, this is one of the best sure tacklers in the draft. So kind of like evens him and Torian York out. Of the one of the two are going to be a very good player. I bet more on Torian York out of skill, but he doesn't have the size really. But Bryce Botcher has the size. Then at 229, I'm going to grab Cole Payton, quarterback from NDSU. This is my shot in the dark at a quarterback. This is the shot. He's a first year as a starter. He went 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but he has one of the best deep balls in this draft. He has an 11.3 big-time throw percentage, which was number 1 in college football. That means of every 10 throws he made, one of them was a big-time throw. That means it was a tight window, deep down the field, 1 of every 10 throws. This dude loves to sling it, and I really do see him as a real shot to be a starter in the right situation in the NFL. And in Tampa Bay, you got a lot of weapons, right? You got Cade Otton extended, you got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Sean Tucker, Bucky Irving, a top 10 offensive line. Like, you are going to get a really good situation in Tampa Bay. If in training camp you can show any promise, I'm telling you, you could be the backup your rookie season. So I'm going to grab Cole Payton at 229. I love his big-time throw, his big arm. It's something I think would work wonders in Tampa Bay behind Baker Mayfield. So that's my mock draft. Entering the 2026 season now, here's my projected depth chart. At quarterback, you have Baker Mayfield. You have Cole Payton. I like that quarterback room a lot. Then at running back, you have Bucky Irving, Sean Tucker, and Jerome Ford. I don't want to add a rookie running back. Let's just go with the 2 guys that we know are going to start for us. Then Jerome Ford to be that 3rd guy who can do pretty much everything. At tight end, you got Cade Otton, Payne Durham, Ko Kieft, and Devin Culp. Devin Culp? I didn't draft Devin Culp. What? Hold on. Devin Culp? I don't think isn't he coming out in this draft? Devin. If I can spell. Devin Culp. Isn't he a free agent? Oh, I thought Devin Culp came out this year. I'm stupid. So yeah, tight end, full, it's a full room. Didn't need to draft a tight end. At wide receiver, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Emeka Egbuka as your starters, with Jalen McMillan, Hunter Renfrow, Tej Johnson as your backups. James Prochet as your returner. On the offensive line, you had Tristan Wirfs, Ben Bredesen, Graham Barton, Cody Moak, and Luke Goki. Then as your backups, Ben Chukwuma, Joshua Zudu, Elijah Klein, and Trent Brown. To the offensive side of the ball, I don't think I drafted any starters. No, I didn't draft any starters on the offensive side of the ball. It is everyone returning from last year, which I'm cool with. One of the best offenses in football last year. I'm cool with returning everyone. Then on the defensive side of the ball, there was a lot more movement on the defensive side of the ball. D-tackle, you have Caleb Banks, who you drafted in the 1st round, who I do think would win out between Elijah Roberts, Vita Vea, and Kalijah Kancey, with Elijah Roberts, Elijah Simmons, and Andrew Billings as the backups. At edge, you have Trey Hendrickson, Yaya Diaby. That's exciting. With Anthony Nelson, Chris Braswell as the main backups. Then David Walker from Memphis last year, who I was very high on. I hope he can get more snaps in 2026. And Romello Heights. That is a very interesting and deep edge room now, because you added Trey Hendrickson, your premier guy. You still have David Walker, who was a high-end prospect last year. You add Romello Height, who I think could be a round 1 guy this year. Then Yaya Diaby returning. That is a very interesting edge room. I like it. It's very deep. At linebacker, you have Dennis, Servoka Dennis, who was a very good linebacker last year for them. Devin Bush, EJ Speed, Torian York, Bryce Bocher. So already, I have fixed their edge and linebacker room in one offseason. You get Trey Hendrickson, you draft Romello Height, you add them to the room of Yaya, Anthony, Chris, and David Walker. Then at linebacker, nearly all of them are brand new. You have Devin Bush, EJ Speed, Torian York, and Bryce Bocher, all new to the linebacker room. I like it. That's a great linebacker and edge room. Then at corner, you have Zion McCollum and Benjamin Morrison as your boundary, with Jacob Parrish as your nickel. That's great. I'm cool with them returning, but I am going to infuse it with Takario Davis, Jalen Mills, and D. Alford. Those are 3 guys that I think can play roles immediately, with Christian Izin as that backup. Then at safety, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tyke Smith are your starters, with JT Gray and Michael Taffe as your backups. This team, I genuinely think, could win the Super Bowl. I genuinely think. This is the first time a team that really did not, I genuinely think if everyone stays relatively healthy, they can win the Super Bowl. I said about the Ravens, I thought the Ravens, my offseason plan for the Ravens, I think they could also win the Super Bowl. But this is the first team that, consensusly, everyone's like, yeah, they might be a little further away than we thought. I think in one offseason, I solved edge, I solved linebacker, I infused premier backups at the corner position. Then at running back, I maintain the same. Wide receiver, I add Hunter Renfrow to be that backup with James Prochet as a receiver. Added depth to the offensive line with that have a lot of starting reps. I like it. I like this team. D tackle gets better, edge gets better, linebacker gets better, secondary gets better. That's what they need. They need to fix their defense, so I infuse it with a lot of talent, a lot of names. I think this team genuinely could win the Super Bowl. So if you guys enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of my offseason rebuild. Do you think this team could win the Super Bowl like I do? Because I do think this team could go 13-4 and win a Super Bowl. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.